Today, every day, small cap investors visit Agoracom knowing this is the day to discover the world's next great company, to have their dreams come true. That's why I take to the open road, to find them, to tell their stories, to engage them, to bring them to life, because they want to connect with you from your office, your phone, your home, anywhere. Agoracom, find your dream.
Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom in which we speak with small cap executives about recent important news at their companies. With us today, I'm happy to have for the first time ever, legendary financier Sheldon Inwentosh. He's chairman and CEO of ThreeD Capital. The company trades under the stock symbol IDK on the CSE. That's a Canadian Securities Exchange. For those of you who are new to the story, and it's going to be a lot of you, ThreeD Capital is a Canadian-based venture capital firm focused on opportunistic investments in the junior resources, artificial intelligence, and blockchain sectors. That's the one we're talking about today because the company announced, I'm going to read the headline, ThreeD Capital refines its verticals with a hard focus on blockchain-themed technologies. That's the press release. Sheldon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here, George, and it's great to be here the day that we basically named our vertical.
Well, let's get right into it because you're the legendary financier, and I tell people that when a man with a couple of billion-dollar exits under his belt puts his focus on something, I think it behooves everyone to hear you out. So first question, what was the basis for ThreeD adding blockchain-themed investments to its verticals?
Well, I've been doing research for over a year in the whole, let's call it, crypto world, crypto being the actual tokens or Bitcoin that it was originally, that originally founded the whole industry, and realizing that it really had to do with the underlying structure of blockchain, ledgers, smart contracts, and how that was going to have a functional role in changing the way commerce is done. And I felt after really a lot of work that this is going to be a very strategic and new paradigm shift in the whole space of business, period, and that we had to be there.
And there are a lot of people who are just hearing about blockchain for the first time. I'm not even sure most people understand how pervasive it's going to be in many industries, but you've made a career being ahead of the curve in growth sectors. So what's your 5-year outlook for blockchain and what impact it's going to have on the economy and online business?
Well, I think it's going to be, using a very old phrase, very disruptive, because the impact of this is going to eliminate a lot of middle people who are involved in transactions that are no longer going to be able to play a role and profit. And the whole concept of the community of blockchain is transparency and community. And there's a lot of protocols and rules around that. And I think that the impact is going to go parabolic. I think you're seeing the first real entrenchment now of non-blockchain people going and wanting to learn. And I think that this will just snowball in the years to come.
You mentioned in your press release today that you put together an advisory group to help with due diligence, deal flow. Give us an idea of the blockchain experience and skill sets in that group, because that's obviously going to be very critical to ThreeD Capital, given how new blockchain is and how fast it's evolving.
Sure. Well, certainly I recognize that I need help in understanding. I'm going through a learning curve myself. In fact, I believe most people are constantly learning. But there are rules that govern this particular industry that are new to the way business is done. So I went out and found individuals that I believe at this stage have great skill sets in technology in this particular space and understanding how the right technology needs to be architected in terms to have a real value proposition in terms of the new model for corporations, and also the ability to get out there and find those particular opportunities that meet the bar. And so we've already seen some impact of that early days. I recognize that I'm going to have to add more members to the team, especially the advisory side, on an international basis, because this is an international business. It's not a local business. It's going to affect every company everywhere. But it was the beginning, and I believe that we're going to see that whole area rise for us in terms of the breadth and depth of our team.
I find your approach both very interesting and actually refreshing, because unfortunately, one thing we've seen in the small cap space before is the Me Too effect, where suddenly companies that are in the widget business want to put out press release about being in the blockchain business, and all interested is in getting a quick promote and some kind of spike in trading, whereas you're taking the approach, your advisor group is actually more on the functional side, making sure that companies that and deal flow that you're finding are things that actually work and will have an impact, as opposed to how promotable it is.
That's correct. This isn't about star power. This is about winning, and to win, you need to execute. And we're not looking to just attract attention for the sake of attention. We want to be able to do things successfully, and we want individuals who've been through that process. Really the soldiers are the people that I most enjoy working with.
And again, for everyone at home, Sheldon's had a couple of billion-dollar exits in startup companies 10 years ago, so this is not his first time at the rodeo. Sheldon, given your experience and given your track record, how much deal flow are you already seeing, and what are the quality of the deals looking like at this early stage?
Well, I think it's a mixed bag, to be honest. I think we're seeing things that look good, but the deeper you get into them, you realize there's flaws. And the flaws may not be in that business, but more, is it, I'll call it ICO-able? Can you take it into the blockchain world and raise, blockchain capital, if you will? There's a lot of dynamics going on in the business today about securities regulation and so forth. So it's a minefield, and I think one has to be very careful. But I feel that we will attract quality deals, and we will basically bring on teams around those deals to ensure that they're executed and are winning strategies.
And I guess this is also a big advantage of being Sheldon Inventosh and ThreeD Capital, that you're not going to have the shysters and the snake oil blockchain guys coming to your door, because you'll be able to pick them out in a second, and that
they always
naturally
show
means,
up regardless.
Right, that naturally means you're going to get great quality coming to you. Blockamoto, that's the name of your blockchain, the wholly owned subsidiary, which pays homage to the creators of blockchain. Do you have a number in mind in terms of the number of investments you want to have in the next 12 months, 12 months from now?
No, I wouldn't say it. We're very early days right now. And I think it's all going to depend on your bandwidth, your capital ability, depending on the particular situation. But if something really sticks out, is something very special, we're going to find a way to do it. So I couldn't predict that, because sometimes you can get bogged down in a, let's call it a real protocol type of platform that could take some time. And it doesn't matter how many deals you do, it's how big and successful those individual transactions are and the platforms in the whole blockchain space. So it's not about individual deals, it's about how prolific those individual projects can be. And
for everyone at home, and Sheldon, as I'm watching this, that goes to show why you've been able to build what you've been able to build. But what I like about your answers, and everyone at home should be recognizing, is the fact that none of your answers have been promotional, that you're looking at quality over quantity. And we're going to have you back on the show, no doubt, over the next few months as things develop, because when you say things are developing, it's going to be real. So I'll leave last word to you before we sign off.
Stay tuned.
Thanks, Sheldon. You've been watching Sheldon Inwintosh. He's chairman and CEO of 3D Capital, Inc. The company trades on the CSE under the stock symbol IDK. You can find him on the web at 3dcap.com, or get to Agoracom, punch in the company's name, stock symbol, get yourself up to date and educated on all the company's developments leading up to this point. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day. Make sure you check out 3D Capital, because this is the beginning of something great. Talk to you next time.